Good morning. Welcome to Hebron United Methodist Church. I want to remind you to fill the attendance if you would, and in the attendance queue there are prayer request cards, so if you've got a prayer request, they'll pick those up, I think, during the second hymn. I've seen in your bulletin there's the blood drive this coming Tuesday for all those that want to sign up for that and are eager to give some blood, so it's a good cause. Three announcements. Like, you want to start us off?
Sure. Next week, next Sunday at 8:45, we're going to start working with the kids for them to participate in the Christmas cantata from about 8:45 to 9 upstairs until the cantata every Sunday. All kids are welcome, all ages. Bring a friend. Kids at heart are welcome, so if you want to go upstairs and sing doo-doo-doo, you're welcome too. So we'd love to have anybody come do that starting next Sunday at 8:45.
Yeah.
Good morning. I want to thank everyone here that came to our mission banquet last Sunday. It was a huge success financially. We raised $1,968 for our mission projects. We don't have a breakdown yet, but we do have a meeting this Wednesday, so it will be published in the Chimes, the breakdown of the contributions to each of our projects. Hope you all had a wonderful time. I know the food was good, even though I helped with it. And it was a great time, and please try to put that in your schedule for next year, because it is an annual event. Thank you.
Ruth?
Good morning. I just want to start out by yesterday was probably one of the biggest successes of bazaars we've had in a long time. When I opened those double doors, I got pinned between the door and the table. And people just kept coming in and coming in and coming in and coming in. So we are very, very thankful. We're thanking everybody who helped us set up Sunday evening, those who helped during the week, those who helped us take down yesterday, those who made things, those who came and bought things. We just thank you so much. There is hardly any food left at all. Most of that is gone. There's a few cookies, not too many. They're in the back. Everything is marked as it is. And if you want to purchase something after church, you can go back and look at it. It'll be back there probably till Tuesday. Also, if you noticed on the other corner, there's a big dollhouse. A man donated that to us, and we decided the best way we could do with it was to take, people could put a bid on it. You can do that today. After that, we'll give it to the highest bidder. It's rather heavy. It's on a swivel. It swivels around. It even comes with some furniture. But it also takes two people to carry it out. So you're welcome to look at it. And, if you didn't hear him, he said he couldn't get in it. Which would mean you'd have to have three people to help you carry it out. Anyway, if you had some cookie containers, I will try to get them to you after church. If not, they're in Dave's office. This is the total. This isn't, we have some expenses coming out, but this is what we took in yesterday, was $5,068.50. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruth. Any other announcements? One other thing, we have any visitors here in front of you, and there's a visitor's card, so we kindly fill that out and rip off the top half of the bookmark. At this time, let's pass the piece and get up and greet one another.
Thank you for giving us this morning. You know, two announcements this morning talk about how much food you donate to the bazaar. yesterday, one at the mission banquet last week. But more important than as important as those finances that were raised, what I see is the life of the church and the life of congregation coming together and supporting one another and getting involved. And we're going to speak more about that today. But to me, as your pastor, that is one of the most rewarding things to see, is you all come together and work not only to support the activities of the church, but the fellowship that is gathered. So thank you for that. Let's prepare our hearts and minds as we go into a time of worship now, as we listen to our prayer.
Will you please rise and join me in call worship? We are pulled in many directions. Many duties and tasks seek to lay claim on our lives. This day, in this place, let service to God be your choice. This day, in this place, we open our hearts and spirits to God. Blessed be the God of creation who has called us here. Praise be to God who sustains and nurtures our lives. Amen.
God is always waiting on us. But do we seek Him? Paul tells us in the book of Ephesians, I pray that the eyes of your heart may be enlightened in order that you may know the hope to which He has called you, the riches of His glorious inheritance in His holy people. May our eyes be open to God this morning.
Open the eyes of my heart.
may see your face and we may feel your presence. In Jesus' name, amen.
Holy Please join me in the affirmation of faith. I believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, dead, and buried. The third day he rose from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and sitteth at the right hand of God the Father Almighty. From thence he shall come to judge the quick and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and the life everlasting.
You may be seated. Today is the Sunday that we do recognize our veterans. I had the privilege of doing the invocation over at Gibson Funeral Home Thursday night in recognition of some veterans and veterans friends. The joy of being not only being with Gene and Barb and some others, but there's roughly about 100, I think, maybe close to 100 people there that for the dinner. There was a gentleman, 95 years old, in his uniform, and was in better shape than I am.
Looking at myself, Pete.
95 years old, and it was a joy to be there that evening and listen to him talk. And he could tell you every battle he was in, the dates and times. I mean, his memory was sharp as a tack. Today's the day that we celebrate not only him, but all the veterans. And we're going to recognize you in a minute. But will you let me pray? Almighty God, you are our creator and sustainer. You are the light. You are our fortress. You are our wisdom, and you are our strength. Lord, you moved among men to establish this great nation. You stirred men to hope and to dream for a land of freedom. We praise you for this great nation. Lord, you've inspired many of our best and our brightest to volunteer, to proudly stand, to defend our beloved country. You've given us brave and loyal men and women who have steadfastly served in their chosen branch of our military. And so today we remember those military personnel. We acknowledge that their service enables us to walk as free men and women in this great land. Today we seek to honor your sons and daughters who have served or who are serving in our country. We are reminded that because of their service, we can live in safety. And so God, we ask that you abundantly bless those who have previously served. May their service time be rewarded in every way. May they gain earthly and heavenly blessings from this unselfish love of country. Lord, we stop now. We remember those who are currently serving. We ask that you provide them with your protection, your strength, and your peace. We ask that you would abundantly provide for all of their needs. We ask that you would enable them to overcome every personal and professional obstacle. And we ask that you would protect their families from hurt and harm. Lord, may each of our veterans feel honored, not just today, but every day. Father, we give special recognition to our wounded warriors. We realize that many of our heroes are dealing with physical and emotional wounds that occurred as a result of their time of service to our country. We ask that they would be given the best treatments available, And that you would add your supernatural blessings to all the efforts given to help them. We ask that you, Lord, will show them miracles as they seek to gain health, stability, and wholeness. We pray all these things in Jesus, the risen Christ. Amen. So I'm going to ask, and we want to honor you, so if you serve or are serving, would you please stand so that you can be recognized? Now, I was going to have my wife in the picture, and then I thought, nah, that's not really good. I served in the United States Navy from 1969 to 1973, and I enjoyed every moment of it. It was good to get out. We got married in that time. If you serve or are serving, would you please stand so that we can recognize you? Now, I got some kids back here. If the kids would come up and help me for a minute, we do want to give you more than just a hand clap. We got some carnations. And somehow carnation just didn't seem appropriate, and I didn't know what else to give, but I figured, ice cream always goes good with anything. So we got gift cards to DP. So if you could take a flower and a gift card and give to one of those people standing up, here, take a gift card. Give to somebody that's standing up. Here's a gift card. So that everybody gets one. Did everybody get one? Diana, she got one back there.
Harold didn't get one.
Harold?
Harold didn't get his flower. It's coming. Yeah, got the flower.
I think that's it. Everybody, you want to take those back to the table and put them back on the table? Again, we want to thank you for your service. Would you show me again? You may be seated.
I would like to, at this time, with veterans that were deceased many, many years ago. My brother was killed in the Korean conflict. And that was 65 years ago. So I want you to all be aware, now that we're having this problem with Korea, what can happen. You send a loved one over thousands of miles away from home to defend our country. And it's ironic because tomorrow is his birthday, November the 13th, and he had been 89 years old.
And that name was?
Harold Hendrickson. Leroy area.
Well, thank you for lifting that up. We've got a number of prayer concerns as well as some joys. Where's Janet? I'm not sure. Is this a prayer concern or a joy that you're going to Texas? I mean, are we supposed to?
We've got 2 dogs and a cat that are going with us,
So, traveling mercies. I make light of it, but traveling mercies says they leave for the winter, heading down to Texas. We do wish them safe traveling mercies. I'm gonna keep both of these silent. The person who lifted them up there, prayer concerns for healing, for ovarian cancer, and for some migraine issues, and that at least that person wants to be kept anonymous now, but just know that there are some concerns out there as well. Many of you have probably already heard that Max Fisherell has been given hospice. He is at home. Helen asked that you do not come to visit right away, as I know many of you want to do that. But check with Helen before you go over to make sure that he's up to visitors. I spent an hour or so with him yesterday. He drank the Coca-Cola, so he felt good about that. We had some wonderful talk, but they desperately need our prayers as they go through this process. Again, I want to lift up not only the bazaar, but the mission banquet. The joy of not only the financial benefit, but the joy for me is to see the congregation coming together and support of one another in the outreach and what we can do in this community. There is a desperate need in this community for the things that you are doing. And so from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the things that you do. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Gracious and loving God, as we not only celebrate this Veterans Day, we give you thanks for those that have served, for the sacrifices they have made. Some of them have given the ultimate sacrifice, the loss of life, so that we would have the freedom that we have, so that we could be here in this very place at this very time, worshiping and praising you without worrying about anything. God, we just lift up to you those that gave that sacrifice. We lift up to you those who are giving of their time now. There are those who are listed in our bulletin who are serving our country as we speak. And God, we just pray that you would keep your arms wrapped around them, that you protect them in the places they are sent, that they would do their duty as they are called. And we just give you thanks for their willingness to serve. We lift up to you this congregation. Give you thanks for their coming together, and we're reaching out in so many areas of ministry, the mission banquet, and all the different things that have been lifted up on how they reach out as individuals, as groups, as a congregation. There was the bazaar yesterday, as the fellowship that took place, as the people have come through these doors. Not only did they celebrate in the financial gifts that they bought, but the fellowship they will see take place among the people gathered here. So God, we can ask that you continue to pour out your blessing upon us, that you continue to guide us as your people. Help us come out of our comfort zone. Help us be more willing to serve, to give out of the abundance that we have. God, we pray for our country. We pray for all the problems that we have from all levels. We pray for our leaders, regardless of which political party. We pray that you would simply guide them to make the right decisions that would be the benefit of all mankind. We continue to pray for those in the service. We pray that you would do your best to keep them from harm's way. We lift up to you their families, times that they are separated, especially as we come upon the holidays of Thanksgiving and then soon Christmas. God, pour out the Holy Spirit upon them, that in the midst of that separation, that they would still find the love that you have for them, that they would find comfort and peace. We lift up to you Max and Helen and that extended family as they go through this time of hospice. God, we pray that you would simply give them comfort. We know the love they have for you. And in that presence, God, that you would just give them the peace that they so desperately seek. We lift up to you all those that are listed in our bulletin. God, you know each and every need. And so where there's need of physical healing, we pray that you would provide that. Where there's people who've been hurt, either spiritually or financially, emotionally, may your Holy Spirit surround them and heal them as only you can. God, we know that there are prayer concerns that are sitting out here amongst us. Concerns that people had that didn't want to lift up, didn't think important enough to put on a prayer card, but weigh on us in one way or another. And so God, in the silence of this moment now, we lay all those prayer concerns at the foot of your cross. God, you are a gracious and loving God who have blessed us abundantly. And the greatest blessing that you have given us is your Son, Jesus Christ, who taught us to pray with these words, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever.
Good morning. How are you? Yeah? All right. So let me ask you, do you like to go swimming? Me too. Only in a pool though. I don't like beaches. The only beach I like is in Hawaii. That's the only beach. So when I retire, well, when my husband retires, that's where we're going. In my dreams, I guess. So, when you go swimming, do you plan out, or let me rephrase this, does your mother plan out your clothes, your bags, or do you go in your church, your attire? Do you go like this? Do we all go to the swimming pool like this? Or does your mom plan your swimming clothes, your beach ball, or swimming ball? Neither do we. Yeah. But do you have your floaties? Yeah. Maybe a awesome. Do you have towels? Yes, you have to have all that. Sometimes you have a cooler with drinks and food. Yeah, Mom's planning all that stuff. Dad's not so quiet, but yeah, that's okay. But anyway, so we have to plan all that stuff out because we want to have a great day at the pool when we go. Sunscreen, at least I have to, because I have a daughter that burns really bad. So she always reminds me now, because she's older, Mom, have the sunscreen. So we all wear sunscreen. So when you go out to the pool, you have to have all your stuff, because you can't go in our church clothes, we have to have our pool clothes. So, how about when we go grocery shopping? Do you ever go grocery shopping with your parents? Yeah. What do your parents always have when they go grocery shopping? Okay, but do they have something that they are maybe reading when they get their food? Like a list? Sounds like me. I usually don't have it. I try to have a list, but sometimes I don't, and then I end up getting stuff I don't need. So you try to have a list so that you're prepared for the grocery store. So when you don't have a list, usually you overshop or you forget something. Like one time I forgot foil. I don't know how many times I went to the store and forgot foil. Because why? I did not go prepared. Or don't you have to have money? Yeah. If you don't go to the store with money, guess what? You can't shop. Exactly. And that's like a bummer. When you get to the cash register, you can't buy your stuff. So you have to be prepared. You have to have your money. Exactly. So our lives involve a lot of planning ahead, don't they? And let me tell you, it does not stop. And I know. I'll be done soon. So we have to be. So we have to be ready for certain things. And if we aren't ready to do some things, they just don't work out well. And let me tell you, that's true. Sometimes I'm not ready, and let me tell you, it just does not work out. So in today's gospel that we're going to hear, Jesus tells a story about being ready. Okay, hey, we're going to go to the nursery in just a minute, okay? I'm almost done. I'm trying to tell you, be ready for the nursery, okay? All right. So anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm totally distracted now. So, some women had some important jobs to do. How come it's always the women that have the important jobs to do? You always find that out in the Bible. It's always the women that have the important jobs. So they had to get ready for this wedding. And some of them had enough oil for the lamps. Some of them did not. Some of them ran out. And let me tell you, the others did not share the oil. Yes. Because they did not have enough oil. Because they had not come prepared. You've got to be prepared. So, we never know when we will be asked to do important work for God. But when those times come and we see a chance to be helpful, or to be kind, or to be honest, we need to be ready to take them. So, are you ready to be helpful and to be kind? Okay? We gotta be kind and helpful to anyone, like mom and dad, and brothers and sisters. I know that's hard. It is. But it needs to be done. All right? Can you pray so that you can go to the nursery? All right, let's pray. Dear God, we are ready to be your faithful servants on earth. Help us, guide us to do good work during the week ahead. Amen.
Will the ushers please come to service? Will you please rise and join me in the offertory prayer? We dedicate these gifts to you, generous God, even as we dedicate our lives to you. Keep us true to our promise, that we may witness to you with all that we are and all that we do. Amen. You may be seated as we sing For the Beauty of the Earth, verses 1, 2, 4, and 6. Will you please rise again for our scripture reading? It is Matthew 25, verses 1 through 13. At that time, the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight the cry rang out, "Here comes the bridegroom, come out to meet him." Then all the virgins woke up and trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil, our lamps are going out." "No," they replied, "there may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later the others also came. "Lord, Lord," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "Truly, I tell you, I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God.
One thing I want to lift up before we get started, it is listed in your bulletin, but just to make a announcement again, next week, next Sunday is our district connection day, charge conference, we don't like to call it that anymore. So if you are in one of the leadership positions of the church, the expectation is that you'll be at charge conference, and we hope that you can make it. But the invitation is open to all of you. It's going to be at Crown Point, First Methodist Church at 4 o'clock. And church conference is really different, or the district connection days are really different than maybe what you've experienced in the past. It's a lot of worship. It's a lot of singing. And the DS, Larry Whitehead, will be given some talk that the other districts that's been touring already. And I think you will find very meaningful. Now, I sat at the ad board Tuesday night, and so I will open this up, and I may be sorry. I am open to bribery, so if you would like to go, I told the ad board, I will buy pizza afterwards. At, what's the place in, Rosati's. So, buddy, if you want to go, let Lynn know, sorry Lynn, let the office know that you'll be going so that we can make appropriate plans. I think you'll find it very worthwhile. Today's gospel lesson. Now, so we are 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, so maybe premature to be talking about Christmas.
No. It's all good.
But it's only like 40 days, 42 days or something like that, shopping days until Christmas. Now here's the thing, what you find is there are two extremes really to Christmas shopping. There are those that get their Christmas shopping done early. There are those who are always on the lookout for that perfect gift. On December 26th, they're out there looking for that gift already. Always keeping in mind of the gift that will work for their loved ones, so that when the holiday season rolls around again next year, they're ready for the holiday season. They're ready to celebrate with their loved ones because they've already got that well thought out gift. Now, at the other extreme, that's where I'm at, is those procrastinators that wait until Christmas Eve. And then it's running and running and running, not worrying about that perfect gift, but worrying about if you're going to get any gift at all, so that you're not empty-handed. You're scrambling to find that gift for all the people on your list. Now, there's things about that you probably fall somewhere in between those two. Not going to put you at either extreme, we probably fall somewhere in the middle of that. You know, but we find that it's probably not a good thing to wait until the last moment, right? I mean, at the end of the day, there's no reason for procrastination, right? I mean, as much as we say it, and we say it every year, right? Christmas comes earlier and earlier and earlier. The fact is, it comes the same day every year. Yeah, December 25th. There's no reason to wait. But some people just enjoy the thrill of waiting for that last moment. Those procrastinators enjoy, whether it's Christmas shopping or whether it's other aspects of the life, whether it's schoolwork or even in the job. Now, I would tell you, schoolwork, I was, and my wife would tell you, my girls would really tell you that I would wait until the last moment. Now, so as a local pastor and then coming into the associate membership, I was required to take courses. I chose to take them at the University of Indianapolis. We would meet for 3 8-hour days in the spring and 3 8-hour days in the fall, once a month for 3 months. We do semester worth of work in those 3 8-hour days. We try to get a whole semester worth of seminary work done and those things. And we'd have 4 or 5 papers to write, 10, 15, 20 pages each. And I'd wait until the last week before classes started to write my paper. That's just who I was. I mean, and my colleagues would tell you, when we come down to the University of Indianapolis, we'd go down to Friday night before the Saturday class, and they'd come into my room, and I'd have paper everywhere. I mean, trying to get that last paper written. But procrastination doesn't work all the time, as many of you know. And I'll give you an example of that, because when I went from the local pastor to become an associate member, I had to answer the same 20 theological questions that seminarians have to answer to be commissioned and ordained. And I waited until the last moment to start those paperwork. And then my sister died. And the time that I had, or I thought I had, to write papers was gone. And my work to the Board of Ordained Ministry showed that there was a lot of thought process that went into the writing of the papers. Now, fortunately, they are full of grace, and they give you another chance to rewrite some of those papers, which I did, and was gratefully so in order to allow me to come into that Board of Ordained Ministry. But procrastination just doesn't work. For the most part, it just doesn't work. Well, for any time, period, it just doesn't work. The truth is that we aren't guaranteed. I mean, we're not guaranteed that we're going to see this afternoon, let alone tomorrow. And so, why do we put off things that we know we shouldn't put off? We operate under the assumption that we're always going to have time. And so we don't do the things that we need to do. And part of those things are, I know that there are times when we have arguments with family members. I know that there are times when there are people who have done harm to us. And there are times that we want to reach out to them. We truly want to figure out how to patch up that relationship. We just don't know how, and so we keep putting it off. Thinking, well, I'll get around to it. And we never get around to it. We never get around to doing the things that we say we want to do. Or even doing some of the things that we need to do, like telling the people that we love them. Or going out and doing some of the things that we want to do. Taking those trips that we want to do. We wait until the last moment. Now, understand that sometimes life just gets in the way of the plans that we have. Sometimes life just stops us from doing the things that we would like to do. But the truth is, and I believe this with everything I have, that we will find a way to do the things that really matter to us. And so how do we determine what really matters? What's really essential? What are the things that we really need to do? And then do them. Today's gospel lesson is about procrastination in a very real sense. Now, I'm going to bust some of your bubbles, and some of you might not be very happy with it. And this story, understand it for what it is. Because the bridesmaids, if they ran out of oil in Jesus' day, there is every sense of the word that they probably would have found someplace to buy oil. Weddings were a big deal. And so the truth of the matter is, there would have been vendors, just like today, you vendors will buy it, sell you anything. There would have been vendors that would have been out there, to not only give them oil, but to supply whatever needs that they wanted. And so, while we read the verses, the truth is the bridesmaids probably would have been able to find oil. The fact is, they would have known the bridegroom. So there would have been no reason for the bridegroom to say, I tell you the truth, I don't know you. I mean, it just wouldn't have happened. Now, Jesus isn't trying to dish the way that the wedding parties went on. The story is just that. It's a parable, and it's meant to tell you a spiritual truth. And that spiritual truth is a saying that really started in the chapter before. As I tell my congregations, when you are reading the Bible, and I really hope that you are reading the Bible, but when you're reading the Bible, you need to know what went on, a chapter before you. If you're reading chapter 25, you need to know what happened in chapter 24. You need to know where he's going in chapter 26 to really understand what's happening in chapter 25. And there's a common theme that runs throughout. There's a phrase that I want you to remember. Keep awake, therefore, for you know not the hour or the day. Keep awake, for you know not the hour or the day. It's a common theme that has been running throughout these couple of chapters. Right before the story of the bridesmaids, you have the story of Jesus telling the disciples the story of the homeowner. If the homeowner known that the thief was going to break in, he could have been there to stop it. If the slave had known when the master was going to return. These are stories that happened right before the bridesmaids, where the slave, the master is turning everything over to the slave, and then he goes out and eventually the slave doesn't do anything. Because he said, well, the master's gone. I can party, I can beat the other slaves, I can do all this and that. And what happens is the homeowner comes home, the master comes home and finds the slave not doing anything. If he'd known when the master was coming home, he'd have known to look busy. It's probably where we find that saying, Jesus is coming, look busy. If we'd known, but we don't. No one knows when Jesus is going to return. The hour of the day is not known. Regardless of what somebody's going to try to tell you, somebody tries to predict. We've got a saying throughout this series of reading, therefore you know not the hour or the day. And the truth is that even if we know, we probably won't recognize it's happening when it's happening. We just don't know. And so the key is this: you're supposed to be ready all the time. We shouldn't have to worry about, well, I got to start getting busy because Jesus is coming. We need to be doing the things that we need to do when we need to do them. And so here's the question. How do we keep our metaphorical lamps full of oil? How do we make sure that we are not like the bridesmaids with our lamps running out of oil? How do we make sure that that we keep doing the things that we are going to want to do? The parable of the talents. You remember that parable that Jesus talks about to his disciples, where he has the man giving talents out to different people, and they invest them and they make interest on them. But he gives one slave is given 1 talent, and rather than invest that and he's afraid of losing it, he buries it in the sand so he doesn't get in trouble. But the truth is, he does get in trouble here. Now, this story talks about talents, and it's a unit of money. Part of being a pastor, we get to take liberty on certain things. We talk about that. It's not so much about the money issue, but we talk about what are you doing with the talents that God has given you? What are you doing with the spiritual gifts that God has given you? What are you doing with the abilities that God has given you? Because each of you has those abilities that God has given you, and how are you using those abilities? How are you using them to further God's kingdom? So we look at the end of chapter 25. Matthew 25 is one of the most important messages for me, because it tells you what are you supposed to do with the gift that God has given you. And he's very specific. Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick and poor in prison. I mean, those are written right there, black and white. Here's what you are to do. Those are things that we can do with the gifts that God has given us. We call them works of mercy. We call them works of mercy or means of grace on how we go out and work with the abilities that God's given us. How do we help the hungry? How do we go out and visit those who are sick or homebound? How do we take care of our neighbors? And everyone's our neighbor. What do we do with the gifts that God has given you to take care of these means of grace? If those are the means of grace and means of justice, if means of grace are to feed the hungry, then works of justice means that we need to be worried about why people are hungry to begin with. And so we've got the means of grace, works of mercy. We've got the means of grace of works of justice. How do we use those two groups of means of grace in order to keep our oil lamps full? How do we use them to make sure that we're not burning out, that we're not running out of oil? And in the church, what we call that is burnout. We just get tired. We get tired of being, or at least believing that we're the only one doing it. I just can't do it anymore. There's not enough of us, or I can't do it by myself, or I'm too old. And we just run dry. Our lamp is out of oil. And how do we keep our lamp from running out of oil? How do we stop from getting those feelings? Well, part of it is looking at why are we doing the things that we do. Using the word piety. Are we doing it because this is what God has called us to do? Because if we do the things that we do because we want to thump our chest, and we want to be able to look at other people and say, look what I've done, your lamp's going to run out of oil someday. You're going to be dry. You're going to get tired of being the one that is just doing it. Because that's what the feeling you're going to have. I'm the only one that's doing it, and I can't do it anymore. But if we're truly doing the things that we do because of piety, because this is what God has called us to do, that God has called us to use the gifts that He's given us, and you've got gifts. Some of it may be monetary, but part of it is the things that you do. It's why we do the bazaar yesterday. It's why we did the mission dinner last week. It's why you do the things that you do, because God has called you to do them. And when we recognize how God has called us to use the gifts that we are given, our lamps can never run out of oil. Because we're knowing that we're doing what God has asked us to do. Here's the problem that we have in the church. And I use the word church as a general statement. People in the church today tend to be consumer driven. If they're not getting fed, they're going to go to the church down the street. Now, I've told my congregations before, if you are not getting fed, I expect you to go to the church down the street. Because Sunday morning is a time when you need to be spiritually fed. Sunday morning is a time when the cares of the world are supposed to be gone, or at least locked outside the doors. And Sunday morning is a time when we feel God feeding us and recharging us and letting us know that what we're doing makes sense. And if we're not getting fed, then you need to go someplace else. But I also tell my congregations, and I will tell you, if you're not getting fed, I want to know what you're doing to feed yourself. Because we can have the best music, and we can have the best sermons, and we can have the best fellowship in the church. But if you aren't doing everything that you can to make this congregation be everything that it can be, then your oil is going to run out. And you're going to be drained. And you're not going to get fed. What are you doing with the gifts that God has given you? It's time to stop procrastinating. It's time to start using the gifts that God has given us. It's time to look again at Matthew 25. Keep awake, therefore you know not neither the hour or the day. As Christians, we need to be ready 24/7. And we do that by using the natural abilities, calling upon one another, feeding upon one another, using the gifts that you've given, so that when that day does come, the words that you will hear are, well done, my faithful servant. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Join us in our last hymn, God of Grace and God of Glory.
Glory,
gonna try it one more time. Okay, we're just gonna do first and last verse, according to the ordinance, and she's in charge. Last verse.
Interesting. To say this. For, be alert, for you know not the hour or the day. Now, I told the praise team when they're singing the song, what is it, Come to Rescue?
I can't remember its name.
I called, and you answered. I called, and you answered. May the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you this day and every day. Go in peace, and the peace of God will go with you. Amen and amen.
I called, you answered, and you came to my rescue. Now I wanna be where you are. Falling on my knees and worship.